What's going on, guys? For today's Mook review, we're going to be taking a look at the I Love RGM Mook out from Model Graphix Gundam Archives. When this came out, I passed on it originally, and I always kind of regretted it. Everywhere when I would see it or see it online or something, I would think, man, I'm really not that into gyms, to be honest. They're not like my favorite. There's a lot of really great gyms and a lot of really great gym custom builds and great gym designs and everything. But I'm more of a Zaku guy, more of a Zeon Mobile Suits guy. So that's why I originally passed on it, but I always just thought, man, I really should get that. It does look really good, and I finally did. So let's go ahead and take a look and see what I've been missing out on since the release of this, as there is also a second volume of this that's out now that, I assume I will probably get at some point in the future as well. But let's go ahead and get right into it. So just really cool design for the cover art for this as well. I will say here on the back, very similar to how the typical Gundam Archives are. 3,800 yen for the list price for this, so about $35 roughly there. I mean, for basically a magazine style book, these are a little bit more on the expensive side, but in my opinion worth it. They're really, really nice Mooks here. So there's the inside under the dust jacket. Got some other example ones over here. The Gundam one we've seen before in the back cover. Here's a few more, including Gundam Sentinel, and let's see, Gundam Double Zeta and Zeta, First Gundam. Okay, so this is in your backwards style format, Japanese style format, where it goes back to front for us Westerners. Here at the front, some different animation stills of a lot of different RGMs from different series, from the original series, from 8th MS team, we've got from Unicorn, a couple there from Unicorn, from Below 83, so a lot of really cool images there. F90 looks like down there as well, F91 I should say. And it looks like for this, it would appear all of these are going to be in 1/100 scale. So obviously there's not master grades of some of these, but it looks like even the custom builds are all just based off master grades. So it looks like they're all actual master grade kits, I believe. Let's go ahead and we'll find out here. So this is the master grade version 3.0, a gym based off of the 3.0 anyway, a master grade 2.0, and a master grade, so different builds of the original gym from the first series, custom builds based off of the 1.0, 2.0, and based off of the 3.0. I gotta say, the 3.0 Gundam, fantastic kit. A gym based on that, it's not really doing it for me. Maybe it's all like the color separation and everything. The 2.0, in my opinion, is the best looking one, but this 1.0 one is looking pretty good. It's a bit more boxy and chunky there at the torso, the 1.0 is, and the shoulders. I think the proportions are nicer on that 2.0, even though the details are really nice. They're the customized details on the 1.0 version. But let's go ahead and take a look here at this custom build of the 1.0 from 2017, from March of 2017. It looks like there's in the background, kind of out of focus, there's the base kit, the original kit, versus the customized version that we've got here for this custom build. So we're gonna have a lot of text, which is all in Japanese, but then a lot of really nice photos and some more comparison photos here, original kit versus custom, and a close-up of the head showing the modifications there. Some really nice panel lining added for this one there, obviously to make it look much more detailed than the original kit. The original kit did have a fair amount of detail on there, here and there, but this one does look really, really nice. Now this is the 2.0, so this is also from 2017, it looks like. Custom build here of the 2.0. Much lighter on the details added to this one, but I think that really suits the design. Now some people, they just like adding details to anything, and I think this looks really great. In my personal opinion, I almost prefer the gym like this. Actually, it's a kind of design, so less is more kind of design, right? I think that really suits the gym, especially the one like the original gym, right, from the first series. I think that looks really nice. The colors are on here, also really good. Notice that both of these so far have gone away from the minty green color of the original kit and gone for a more just kind of regular white color, standard white. This is a little bit warmer white and a little bit different red color between the two, a little bit kind of darker red and a little bit more kind of orangey lighter red color here for the 2.0. Another reason why I think I like this one more, I like the colors on it. The color mixtures are a little bit nicer in my opinion on this one, but really good looking. And then they use for the frame a kind of a mix of like a gray and then like a brownish tan kind of color. Here's kind of interesting, mentioning how the releases coincide of like the release of the Master Grade Gundam and the Gym. the HGUC Gundam in the gym, the 2.0 version of the Gundam and the gym, and the 3.0 version of the Gundam, and the missing gym. No 3.0 gym quite yet, but I'm not sure if they will ultimately make one. But here's a custom one. Anyway, this one's from 2017 as well, it looks like, so it must have been a special issue there at the time. But yeah, the added color separation on this one is not really for me. It looks kind of interesting. Like it's certainly visually interesting, but it's a bit too busy. It kind of loses the original color scheme a bit too much of the darker color in the lower half, where the original like design should be mostly white. I don't know, it's a bit too contrasted for myself, for my taste. But what do you guys think about that? I don't know. It does have some more of that minty white, as you can see on there, so incorporating some of the original color in there, but the added darker gray panels, there are a couple of white panels in there as well, here and there, and then obviously the kind of yellowish, mustardy kind of color panels in there as well. It's interesting. Alright, now we're going way back. Some old kits of the original gym. Now this one is, let's see, the original 1/100 scale gym, and this is modeled as both the irregular version and the real type color version, but it's the same kit, essentially just slightly different colors and like different markings for it, essentially. But you can see the customization, like how the kit is actually modeled, is a little bit different. Gym versus gym, spelled G-I-M-M. Interestingly, I've never noticed that. I'm not sure if it's still spelled like that on the box. On the real type box, it's still spelled G-I-M-M. That would be kind of interesting if it is. And I'll have you guys know, I'm not sure if you remember, I've talked about this like a long time ago. I used to say GM all the time. I would always just say GM. And then I got kind of in the habit of saying gym, just because I know that that's how a lot of people say it, including in Japan. I think most people call it gym. That's how it's spelled actually out in katakana. So that's what I've gotten used to. I know people say different things. Some people don't like the fact that I say gym. Some people go just by GM. I think GM, you know, probably makes more sense, like realistically. But gym is just kind of, I don't know, an easier name to say, I feel like. But anyway, here we got the Gym 2. Quite cool design. I definitely prefer it over the original, just in terms of design-wise, just because it's a little bit more visually interesting design, I feel like. The head is not just like a ball, it's got a little bit more detail on the head. This one as well, very similar to the 2.0, has a very nice design to it. And there you can see a bit over here about the 2.0 model kits based off of the 2.0 Gundam, for example, or based off the 2.0, and then some of these are also based off the 2.0 Zaku. So talking about like variants of 2.0 models, which are really, really nice. Basically anything in the 2.0 series of master grades are fantastic in my opinion. 2.0s or model kits based off of the 2.0s are awesome. Here we have a work here from Naoki. I've not really been paying attention as to who some of these are by, sorry to say. Some of the names, like this one for example, the name is there in Japanese, so I'm not sure if I would know it. I'd have to translate it. Anyway, this one's by Naoki. This one is the Gym Sniper 2 here, obviously. Really cool custom version of this. I do really like the added equipment here on the knee. It makes a lot of sense too, obviously, because it's a sniper type. It's going to be kneeling down. That's how we see it in the box art anyway. So you can assume that it would be kneeling and having the added equipment there on the knee. Very similar to the Zaku sniper. How the Zaku 1 sniper has that kind of different, it's got asymmetrical knees. But again, this is really fantastic of what I really appreciate most about Naoki's style. One of the things about Naoki's style is the very subtle weathering on that, and you can see some examples of that throughout, where just looking at it, and probably like as well as you guys can see it here on video, you're probably having a really hard time seeing any weathering at all. And even just looking at it like here in person, looking at the book, I mean, you can see just little bits of streaking, little bits of dry brushing on the edge, and it's very, very subtle, which I definitely like. So it looks great. All the details on it look awesome. So a really cool build here of the Gym Sniper 2. Then we've got the Gym Colony Space Type. Another really cool design. This one was a premium Bandai release, the Master Grade version. Well, it looks like actually this is modeled based off of the Gym Sniper 2. Actually, this is a customized build based off of that, but it did come out as a premium Bandai. But I think this is the premium Bandai kit here. And then this is the custom build, which is just based off of the Gym Sniper 2. So you can kind of see the difference between the two. And it's going to be subtle, but obviously the custom one's going to be, you know, a little bit different. It's definitely quite cool though. I didn't ever get that P Bandai Master Grade, but it's one that I've always sort of regretted. Someday, if I get the chance, I may try to get my hands on that space type version of the Gym Colony type. That is really cool. I think it's a really interesting version of a GM, especially that gun is really cool. So really nice custom build here. The backpack looks fantastic there. That nice shiny metallic used for like the thruster bells on there, and all the colors and details. Some very light panel lining around there in some of the sections. Here we've got a very text heavy big wall of text here for an interview section, and there's going to be some more about that with that continuing on here. This looks like mostly, well, it's HGUC stuff, but there's also the space suit there from Starship Troopers. So I guess maybe talking about like some of the design inspiration coming from Starship Troopers, which is kind of interesting. Which now there's actually model kits of those. I believe those are by Wave, if I remember correctly. I have not built one, but Wave makes some model kits now. I think it's Wave, if not Max Factory. I think it's Wave that makes those Starship Trooper model kits. Here we got the Power Gem. Such a cool design and not too bad a kit, even though it's based off of the Gundam Verka, or the Gym Custom anyway, which is kind of sharing a lot of the same parts, that Master Grade kit. This is a custom build though, and it looks really nice. Kind of the different modifications made to that, so you can see the original kit versus the customized kit unpainted there. And yeah, really nice. I love how they've separated the torso, how the torso kind of has this like secondary vents, like the chest vents and then some vents kind of at the top of the chest, but they've kind of separated that, made it more distinct. So that's a really cool looking added detail on that. And then of course just stretch the proportions even more. The thighs, the lower legs, the forearms are all extended out quite substantially. The feet as well. They made it even more katoki'd, which is quite interesting. So really cool. Yeah, really nice. And then the added vents here at the front. The original one, okay, it did have that. I guess it's not really that noticeable. And this actually doesn't even look all that modified, but it does look really nice on this. I don't know, I haven't really noticed it that much. I guess with the legs being extended here, it leaves kind of more space to appreciate the details around the calf on the leg there. That's really quite nice. I like that a lot. Here we got some more photos of that on the next page, on the back side. Really beautiful build there. 1/100 scale RGM model kits. So there's quite a few. We've got the Gym Custom. So moving on from Gym, this is now RGM. We got the Gym Custom, the Quell, the Ground Type, the Gym Type C, and let's see, the Nemo, the Jesta, the Gym Cannon. So these would all just be images, like production images that you would see if you have the model kit. These are like images that you would see on the box art, basically, or on the sides of the box in the manual, stuff like that. Then we got the 2.0 of, or the, it's not the 2.0 of the Gym Cannon, it's just the Gym Cannon, but it's based off of the 2.0 Master Grade Gym here. Another really cool design. A lot of really interesting small little details added on it, and you can see here the original kit and this custom build. You know, it's not like big, huge, substantial changes. It's just small little bits, like these little bit details added onto areas where there's not a lot of detail. The front of the thigh is added a lot of detail. These parts of the legs added these little details onto there. So again, kind of subtle changes that really add a lot to the design. Also added the 8th MS team style Ground Gundam style shield. Their Ground Gym, Ground Gundam. That looks really nice. That detail added on the back legs, I don't remember the original kit having, okay, it did have that, but it's different. Okay, so here's the original back of the legs, and then this customized version of that. That's really interesting looking. Wow, yeah, it looks really cool. That built out detail, and then you can kind of see in this photo that it looks like it's a kind of coil. I'm not sure if that's meant to be like a winch. Kind of, that's what it looks like. Either that or it's just like a metallic coil, and they're meant to just look at like a, I don't know, some sort of venting system or something like that. I don't know, but it looks quite interesting. The added antennas, again, I don't think the original kit had those added antennas on the backpack, or they were slightly different, but all the antennas on there looks really interesting. Then we got the Gym Sniper 1. This one's just based off of the Bandai MG. Up here you can see the out-of-box kit and the customized version here. This is another one where there's really not that much customized about it, but it's just subtleties. Like here, the face mask, they kind of made that so that it's just a smaller hole, kind of the square hole at the front for when the face mask comes down over the visor. It's a smaller hole for that. Some modifications to the front ankle armor made that larger. And that's going to cover more of the joint, which kind of makes sense. It's kind of interesting. It's quite cool to see some of these modifications, and I'm really glad to see some of those photos showing the like before and after, so you can really kind of get an idea of that. Because some stuff, I mean, unless you're really familiar with the kit, unless you're really taking a lot of time to look at it really closely, some of those modifications, it's hard to see just straight off the bat. So the kind of before and after photos are really nice, quite helpful to see there. All right, then we've got the master grade Jegan, and here you got an example of the HG, so the HGUC Jegan, and these are all different variations, most of which are P Bandai, not all, but many of those are P Bandai variations based off the Jegan. The 1/100 and 1/144 scale versions of Jegans, those are older kits there. Other kits here in 1/100 scale from Char's Counterattack. Over there, the new gun and the Sazabi. And others, as you can see there. And then this is definitely another build from Naoki, one that I believe I've seen in a different publication before, possibly in a GHL issue, if I remember correctly. I think this was featured in a Gundam Hobby Life issue, although I'm not too sure about that. I know I've seen it before. I've definitely seen it online on Twitter, but from Naoki, but I think I've seen it in a different book previously. So it's awesome. I really love this design of the Jegan. It's adding a lot of detail. Almost a little bit too much for my personal taste. Again, like with the GMs and like the RGMs, a lot of these designs I feel like they're kind of less is more kind of designs with them being grunt suits. This one's almost a little bit too detailed for my taste, but if you're trying to think of it as a more kind of realistic machine, it does make sense there would be a fair amount of detail on there, just as an actual 18-meter tall mecha. And here we got some evolution of the inner frame on some of these. So this would be from the 2001 Master Grade Gym, the 2002 Gym Type C, 2006 Nemo right there, the 2009 version 2.0 frame, the 2013 Jesta frame here, and the 2018 Jegan frame. So interesting to see how like the Jesta looks the most detailed and most bulky, kind of, or the 2.0. The Jegan has some nice detail here and there, but for the most part the Jegan's frame is quite basic. And that was kind of a thing that a lot of people talked about at the time of its release. I don't mind it at all because I'm not really that too interested in having like a super detailed inner frame, but it's got some detail in there here and there. But ultimately I just want the frame to make the base kit better. I'm not necessarily buying a kit for the frame, if that makes sense. As long as the frame, helps to enhance the kit overall, then I'm happy with it. Anyway, here we've got a custom build of the Equus type Jegan here based off of the MG Jegan. That looks really cool. And yeah, it's a mystery why Bandai's not made more variants of the Jegan in 1/100 scale yet. I can only assume that they will come out with more eventually over time, but for how many different variations we were seeing in the HG line, it's kind of interesting why we haven't seen more variations of the MG Jegan quite yet, but this one looks really, really cool. So really hoping, among the different variations of the Jegan that exist out there, Equus type is one that I feel like would definitely be very popular, would definitely sell well. I would be really happy to get one because it's such a cool design of it. Obviously that face mask doing a lot of the heavy lifting for making the design as cool as it is, and then that darker color scheme just makes it look so much more intimidating than the minty green of the original color. But it's really cool. The added armor on the chest as well is also really cool. Just kind of really helps it sell that kind of like special forces look of the Equus type Jegan, which is really awesome. So here's a little bit more about the Jegan. I think this is not a new book, by the way. As I mentioned, there's a second issue of this out already. I think at the time when this came out, it was fairly recently after the release of the MG Jegans. That's why there's kind of quite a lot of emphasis put on the Master Grade Jegan in this, because it was kind of the newest MG RGM to come out at the time. So there's more about the Jegan, more about the SD Jegan over here, about the HG Jegan. So it looks like this portion is going to be kind of showcasing some of the different HGUCs, so the HGUC versions of the Jegan. And yeah, there's going to be quite a lot, as we can see in here from the different variations. But this is really cool. If you're not familiar, or if you haven't been paying attention, or if you are just a big fan of the Jegan, and you maybe are fairly new to Gunpla, some of these have been out for quite a long time, I guess. This one, I mean, this is going back probably almost 10 years now for some of these earlier ones. But there may have been some of these variations that came out and maybe you just didn't know about it, or you completely missed it, or for whatever reason, it kind of helps you to see exactly what's different about each of the many different versions of the HG Jegan. So that's kind of interesting to see here. Like, for example, this version of the F91 version here, the A-type, I didn't remember, or I didn't know, I don't know, I just missed the fact that it comes with this really cool looking rifle. I actually really like the look of that rifle there for that version of the Jegan. And this one has as well. I guess so all the different F91 versions maybe have that same rifle, which is quite cool. On the next page here, we've got even more. Got the General Rebels color version, more versions, and even more. Here on the next page, we had the pretty terrible Build Divers version there. That was the Jegan Blast Master, if I remember correctly. The Ewok Jegan, probably another one of my favorite designs. If we were going to get any more master grades, I would love an ECOS type Jegan, and I would love an Ewok type Jegan. Getting tongue-tied over those, but that's another one that I would love to see in master grade form. A really cool version of that. So anyway, here we go. Speaking of that, here we got a nice custom build, or at least a custom painted build here version of that. It's such a cool design. I love the Ewok designs. There's not a whole lot of them, but there's a few, and they're really cool. There's a really cool version of the Nero, if I remember correctly, as well, which we don't have any model kit versions of the Nero. That's another one that I hope someday we'll get an HGUC or an RE100. Maybe, I mean, a master grade would be nice. I doubt that we would get a master grade Nero. Probably more likely it would be an HGUC, but whatever it is, I would be happy with that. So here we got some more kind of highlights of the lineup. The Jesta cannon. Interestingly, so far, it looks like the Jesta cannon, or the Jesta cannon, neither of which have really been in here, and it looks like they're not really going to make much of an appearance, other than just like kind of a there's one on the cover. Interesting. Oh no, was it on the back cover? No, why was I thinking there was one on the cover? I don't know. Anyway, not too much featuring the Jesta in this book anyway. Maybe there is more in volume 2, so we'll have to wait and see. About the Nemo. The Nemo is a design that's always been kind of interesting for me. There's aspects of the design that I think are really, really cool looking, and aspects that I don't really care for. For example, the chest, I just can't really go for the chest, how like the vents kind of angle downward. It just kind of looks weird and sad for some reason, I don't know. But there's other aspects, like the legs are really interesting, the shoulders, the head design really interesting on the Nemo. So it's one that I've not ever built, but I would be interested to maybe try out a master grade Nemo at some point. This one has a really interesting paint scheme on it, as it's got a really subtle like splinter camouflage paint scheme using like multiple tones of that kind of bluish green there. It's quite cool looking. Then we've got the heavy gun from F91, and it looks like, yeah, this is based off of the old 1/100 scale kit as far as I can tell there. And right here is showing like a few other different 1/100 scale model kits available, RE100 and Master Grade 2.0 versions of those. Quite an interesting design here. A lot of the stuff from F91, the designs, you know, personally, I'm not too into some of them, but this one is really cool. There you can see the original model versus this custom build, and yeah, you can really see how much work went into this to make this look as good as it does, and it looks fantastic. This is a beautiful looking build. But man, from going from that to that, I mean, he definitely put in some work, and you can see it came out really fantastic. Here's the look at the modified kit before it's painted. It's always great to see these kind of photos so you can really see exactly what's different, because that's the original kit, unmodified. Here's the modified kit, and then here's what it looks like, you know, fully painted. So really nice work on that. It's beautiful. Then the Gym Ground Type, a classic. I love the Gym Ground Type, definitely. You know, compared to the original Gym, like the original 1.0 or the original like a 1 Year War Gym and the Ground Gym is so much more visually interesting for me personally, I have to say. So it's a really good looking build here. This is actually of the HGUC kit, not the Master Grade. The Master Grade is older and definitely got a little bit different proportions, but the HGUC is a really nice kit, much newer kit, of course. And then it's got the sniper rifle here, which is from the HG Gym Sniper. Old, not HGUC, but just HG. And then that weapon is also available in System Weapons Set 4 there for your guys' reference. Next up, we've got the Blue Destiny which is, I mean, as far as the kit goes, I mean, generally it's sort of based off of the Ground Gundam or like the Ground Gym, also kind of sharing the same basic design as far as the HGUC kit goes. But another really great kit and really nice build here, really clean, sharp looking build there of the Blue Destiny Unit 1. And then the Ground Gundam, as we were just talking about. And then check over here, check the Gym head. So the Gym head for the Ground Gundam there. If you guys have never seen the 8th MS Team series, I highly recommend you check it out. There's an episode where one of the Gundam's heads gets smashed, and so they replace it with a Gym head. It's very cool. The parachute pack for that, also really cool. Those were available as sets. So like, for example, some of these weapons and everything are from different releases. The parachute pack set also came with the Gym head that you could put for that. So that was a P Bandai release. I reviewed that back when that came out, so you guys can check out that review if you're so inclined, if you haven't seen it. But some more beautiful pictures here of that build. Really nice build of these, of the Ground Gundam and the Gym head type. So really cool. There's of the 2007 HG and the 2018 HG Revive version of the Ground Gundam. Big improvement, beautiful kit. I'm saying beautiful a lot. I don't know why. This is kind of stuck in my head at the moment, I guess. But really, really nice builds in here. I guess that's what's inspiring me at the moment. Almost to the end here, we got the Gym Striker. That looks awesome. There you can see original build, modified version, final product. Again, really great to see that. It's one of my favorite things to see in books like this, where you can see the modifications that went into it. It's nice to be able to, have nice big photographs and detailed photographs and everything to appreciate the work. But, as a modeler myself, I like seeing kind of what exactly was done, and to see it kind of more clearly through work in progress photos is always nice to see. Then getting in here right at the very end, the Gym 3, probably my favorite between the Gym 1, Gym 2, Gym 3. The Gym 3 is definitely the most interesting for me. I really like the design of the Gym 3. So this one's, again, really cool. You got a couple of work in progress photos for that, and a couple of final photos. Not a whole lot. There's a few more here on the next page, and some more of the work in progress over here, like adding details to the back side of the skirt armor, kind of extending the skirt armor, and adding details around in different parts of it. And that's it. That's it for volume 1 of I Love RGM. I would say I'm definitely interested in picking up volume 2 now after looking through that. Great volume. As I said at the start of the video, the Gym, I'm much more of a Zaku fan, much more of a fan of the Zeon designs from like 1 Year War and kind of Universal Century in general when it comes to like the grunt mobile suits. But I gotta say, a great issue, a lot of really good stuff in there, a lot of really great inspiration if you guys are fans of any of these mobile suits. This is a really nice book to have, really nice reference. So let me know your guys' thoughts in the comment section below. Which build was your favorite from this book? Maybe let me know which is your favorite kind of RGM design. I know I have been asked in the past multiple times, a few people have requested that I do a Gym themed contest in the future, so I definitely will. We've done a Zaku themed contest years ago, and people requested, oh, do a Gym contest next, and so we definitely will in the future. Look out for that. At the moment, we've got our Advanced Zeta contest, which has just kicked off, so if you guys missed the announcement for that, check that out. It's Advanced Zeta themed for the current contest. Check that out. Check out USA Gundam Store, guys, for any of your Gunpla needs, paints, tools, supplies, all that good stuff. The link will be down in the video description as always. Till next time, thank you all so much for your support. Like the video, comment, subscribe. I really appreciate it, you guys. We'll see you next time. Bye.